Ruby chocolate was introduced in 2017 by Swiss-Belgian manufacturer Barry Callebaut after more than 13 years of research. It is produced from specially processed cacao beans grown in regions such as Ecuador, Brazil, and Ivory Coast. The beans naturally contain compounds that create a pink color and berry-like acidity without added dyes. Ruby chocolate typically contains around 47% cocoa components, placing it between milk and dark chocolate in composition, with a slightly tart flavor often compared to raspberries. White chocolate. White chocolate contains no cacao solids, only cocoa butter, milk, and sugar. It was first commercialized by Nestlé in 1930. For decades, many chocolatiers argued it should not be considered real chocolate. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration officially defined white chocolate in 2004, requiring at least 20% cocoa butter and 14% milk solids. Cocoa butter melts around 34 degrees Celsius, close to body temperature, which is why white chocolate melts quickly when handled. Because its flavor is mild, chefs often use it as a base for ingredients like vanilla or matcha. Blonde chocolate, sometimes called caramelized white chocolate, was discovered accidentally in 2006 by French pastry chef Frédéric Boux. While heating white chocolate, he left it cooking for hours until the milk solids slowly caramelized. This occurs through the Maillard reaction, a chemical process that begins around 120 degrees Celsius and also browns bread and roasted meat. The chocolate turns golden and develops flavors similar to toasted biscuits and caramel. The French company Valrhona later commercialized it in 2012 under the name Dulce. Dark chocolate traces back to the Olmec civilization of Mesoamerica around 1500 BCE, later valued by the Maya civilization and Aztec civilization as both food and currency. Modern dark chocolate contains 50 to 99% cacao solids, meaning most of the bar comes directly from the cacao bean rather than added sugar. In the late 1800s, Swiss chocolatier Rodolphe Lindt developed conching, grinding chocolate for up to 72 hours to create a smooth texture. Higher cacao percentages produce stronger flavors, ranging from fruity to earthy, depending on bean origin. Gianduja chocolate originated in Turin in northern Italy during the Napoleonic Wars, when cacao supplies were limited by trade blockades. Italian chocolatiers stretched their chocolate by mixing it with finely ground hazelnuts. Traditional Gianduja contains about 30% hazelnut paste blended with chocolate. The best versions use hazelnuts from the Piedmont region, known for their delicate flavor. The smooth mixture became the historical predecessor of modern chocolate hazelnut spreads, later popularized by companies like Ferrero. Milk chocolate was created in 1875 by Swiss chocolatier Daniel Peter after years of failed experiments mixing milk with cacao. The breakthrough came when he partnered with Henri Nestlé, who had invented powdered milk that removed the water causing spoilage. Most food regulations require milk chocolate to contain at least 10% cacao solids and 12% milk solids. It typically contains 40 to 55% sugar, producing a sweeter, creamier taste. American milk chocolate developed a slight tang because the Hershey Company used partially lipolyzed milk to improve shelf life before refrigeration. Modica chocolate comes from the Sicilian town of Modica in Italy and follows a recipe introduced in the 16th century when Spanish rulers brought Aztec cacao techniques to Sicily. Unlike modern chocolate, it is never conched. The cacao paste is mixed with sugar at temperatures below 40 degrees Celsius, preventing the sugar from dissolving. This leaves visible crystals that create a grainy texture. Traditional flavors include cinnamon, vanilla, and chili pepper, similar to the spices used in ancient Mesoamerican cacao drinks. Raw chocolate is made from cacao beans processed below 42 degrees Celsius to preserve natural enzymes and antioxidants. Traditional chocolate production roasts beans between 120 and 140 degrees Celsius, which develops flavor but reduces some heat-sensitive compounds. Because raw cacao is not roasted, the flavor tends to be more bitter and acidic. Grinding cacao at low temperatures is also more difficult, often leaving raw chocolate with a slightly grainier texture. The concept became popular during the 2000s raw food movement, which emphasized minimally processed ingredients. Single-origin chocolate. Single-origin chocolate is made from cacao beans grown in a single geographic region rather than blended from multiple countries. Beans from Madagascar often produce bright, fruity acidity, while cacao from Venezuela is known for deep, nutty flavors. Some rare regions, like Chuao, produce only around 20 tons of cacao per year. The craft chocolate movement of the 2000s popularized single-origin bars, treating cacao similarly to wine, where soil composition, climate, and fermentation microbes influence the final flavor profile.